Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Ty Anderson, and we're here at the, we're doing an appetizer to Dinner and Conversations. Got the lovely Ebony Blevins to my right here. I called her up, I was like, Ebony, I gotta do an interview with you. I wanna talk to you, see what's going on, see what's on your mind, poke at it a little bit.
Not a whole lot, but you know, I'm just kidding.
And so we're here. So Ebony Blevins.
Yes.
Who is Ebony Blevins?
It's me. I'm an artist. I am a random person who has constantly random thoughts going through my mind, ADHD, neurodivergent. I'm the representative for Method Man's brand, Tical. I'm the market manager and market manager and brand ambassador. I manage the Tical at Tical Arkansas _ Instagram account, and I help moderate their official page on Facebook. And I am a fine art photographer, and I'm Artist of the Year this year for Mosaic Templars.
Oh man, you on top. Your resume is jam.
Yeah, a lot's come through the past few months.
So you spoke on this, and first time I really met you, and had a chance to have a conversation with you was at one of my Dinner and Conversations. And I learned then that you've been in the game for like a while.
Yeah.
With this thing. So what got you started in photography and the whole nine?
So photography, I started photography when I was 8, actually. I was in 4-H, and then like when I was 14, my dad encouraged me to take this night class with him on photography when I was 14. And we were, after school, he would pick me up, and then we would go to this night class and learn about photography. This is back when it was film, back then, before all the digital stuff. But, and then I was really into sports and music and like band up until like college, and then I changed my major from art after the discouragement of a professor who's like, oh, I think you should probably change your major, you know, I don't think you're cut out for art. And I listened. I was easily influenced back then, but I changed to journalism, and so I got my degree in photojournalism from Arkansas State in 2000. And I used to work for the Democrat Gazette. I was freelancing for AY magazine and Arkansas Money and Politics for a while until that didn't really pan out. I was forced to part ways with them. But yeah, no, it does. And then the stuff with Tical kind of fell in my lap, but I'm still able to do photography for them and create content. I know, the trolley, you know.
We downtown.
Yeah, we downtown. Just the ambient sound, you know.
We're trying to give it a minute because there's other noises coming, but we're trying to, get through that.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that's amazing. So when I met Maul, shout out to Maul.
Yeah.
When I met Maul, he was telling me a little bit about. He was like, "Nah, Ty, she be everywhere." I was like, man, so what have she done? And then he was telling me about all the shows and
for Power 92 and stuff.
Everything you were doing with Power 92.
So like yesterday, I took Trey Day some swag, and then he was telling about how somebody's working on a documentary right now on Power 92 or something like that. So I just kind of connected with them like today, and so now I got to find all these old pictures. I have lots and lots of old pictures from the old Juneteenth. They used to fill out the stadium.
I remember I was out there one time. They was running people over when they were going to the front gate.
Oh yeah, it was so packed. But
I loved it.
That was before Juneteenth became an official national holiday. But yeah.
Well, they bringing that back. They bringing that event back.
I don't know. Are they?
Yeah.
Really? I don't think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be the same.
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna have that same energy they had back then.
No, because they were bringing like a lot of big name acts before they became big. And yeah.
I remember that. So you did the media thing, Power 92, and you've been making your way with your skill set, and it's landed you with Tical, Method Man's brand. Can you tell us about Tical and how that kind of happened? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so the opportunity for Tical kind of just really fell in my lap. I have a friend, it's in Denver, and that he told me that his friend is moving to Arkansas. And I'm like, why is your friend moving to Arkansas from Denver, Colorado? And he was like, oh, for the cannabis industry. I'm like, okay, cool. So I met her, and then we became friends. And then she was like, hey, Method Man's rep is coming. You want to meet him? I was like, sure. So come this date, this time. That was December 2021. And then I guess he went back. He turned out to be the art director for Tical. he went back and told the other founders of the brand about me and that I'm cool. And then I met more of the team, and at the end of March, I didn't even realize I was on an interview. I thought I was like talking to them to maybe take pictures for them when they come into town sometime, not to be a rep for the brand for the state of Arkansas.
Man, so you're sitting in a full-fledged interview, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't realize it until they were like, so why Tical? And I was like, oh crap, I got to come up with an answer. But I was honest. I just told them I've always wanted to work for a celebrity. I know this is a foot in the door.
Yeah.
And that was the most authentic interview that I've had, like job interview. And they welcomed all of it. So I just appreciate that with them.
No pun intended when I say that's dope.
Literally.
So with the Tical brand, so you're the brand ambassador, and you said you're over the
market. Yeah, I'm the market manager.
So what is all that like? So what does that encompass?
So basically, I'm like a pharmaceutical rep for cannabis. So I give out swag, I educate people on our products and on the brand and basic cannabis knowledge, and I give out swag.
So, hey, I got some of that swag.
Yeah.
I got the keychain. Y'all got to get y'all some. She handed it out.
Yeah, you got to find me. You got to know where to find me, especially for this 420, because I'm going to be all over.
Oh, yeah. And we were supposed to, so Ebony and I got together. We were going to do an event for 419, kind of like a prelude to 420, but, you know, some things kind of happened. But now we're back on track with it. Dinner and conversations, clearing the smoke. It's called Clearing the Smoke primarily because we know medical marijuana is here. You know, it's not going anywhere.
Right, if anything, it'll become rec hopefully sooner than later.
Exactly. So it's here. Let's not even, you know, if you're against it, it's cool to still be against it, but let's have a conversation about how we're going to tackle this and handle this going forward. Because, you know,
and then we just need to work on dispelling any stigma against people who actually need it for medicinal use, because people just assume that people who consume cannabis are lazy stoners that aren't gonna, you know, be productive in society, which is very untrue. Or that they don't, you know, they just sit at home and don't work out, which there are plenty of people who use it to medicate and still, you know, work out and very productive and do so many different things. It's just, like I said, it's just dispelling that stigma against the plant itself.
So do you get a lot of pushback anytime you're out? Do you come in contact with anybody who gives you kind of pushback about the brand or about what you're doing?
Not really. I am more of like a bridge builder. And so like with the flower and everything, I'll try to be personable to try to break down people's like armor or any walls that they may have.
Soften them up a little bit.
Yeah, I try to soften them up. You know, I'll just like crack a joke or something, be silly, and it brings their guard down. And then if they're willing to be open and just have a conversation, then they'll see that, you know, it's not necessarily the case, because I am a stoner too.
Hey, that's all good. She brought some. So what is this you have right here?
That's the glitter bomb.
The glitter bomb.
It is an empty jar. I have to say that.
Okay.
Because
does the empty jar have a smell to it?
Probably.
The empty jar has
it had some in there.
Very interesting smell.
Like,
I can't get the top.
I know, it's hard to.
There we go.
It has to be.
Is that childproof? I got y'all. I understand. I feel you. Look at that. Yeah, I gotta check that out with Tical, man. So have you had a chance to meet Method Man himself?
Yes, finally. Yes. I've been with the brand now almost 2 years, and I finally met Method Man in October of last year at the Wu-Tang's first show in Arkansas ever, was this past October.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah, it's crazy that they've never had a show here.
I'm a little sick that I missed that one.
That show was really, as cold and rainy as it was, it's really epic. The energy there was great. And I got to experience the whole show from on the stage, like at the side. I kept distracting. I was hyped. I was distracting the members of Wu-Tang while they were performing.
The whole Wu-Tang clan there?
Yes, all the members, you know, minus ODB, but his son, YDB, Young Dirty Bastard, was on the show.
Oh, this is deep, man.
Yeah.
We gotta somehow y'all gotta come back. Y'all gotta come back somehow.
Eventually they'll come. We'll get the money up and bring either the Wu-Tang or Meth and Red, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, good deal. So what's the focus right now with Tical and his brand here in Little Rock itself?
Well, just overall in general, the brand. One thing about the brand that I really appreciate is we partner with minority-owned and women-owned like dispensaries, cultivators around the country. So here in Arkansas, our cultivator is Bold, and they're a majority women-owned cultivator. And so,
did not know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and then Tical stands for taking in consideration all lives as well.
Oh, so that's a whole acronym.
Yeah, it's on my shirt. It's on my shirt.
Okay. Just found that out today. Just found that out today. That's dope.
Yeah.
I could dig it.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Okay. So you guys are trying to leave an impact with the Tical brand.
Yeah, trying to correct the disparity in the cannabis industry that is against minorities and women in the industry itself.
So how do you personally feel about marijuana and the way it is in today's society? Do you feel like, because a lot of areas still do, it's a lot of criminalization based over marijuana still.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about, there still being some like real heavy criminalization of people when it involves marijuana?
All the regulation with it, I think it's really unnecessary because, so this is a medicine, okay? And you don't see other medicines heavily regulated like cannabis or marijuana, but they have more detrimental effects compared to cannabis.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're not as heavily regulated as cannabis. So I'm like, what are they trying to control, by not allowing people to use it freely like they should, like any other medicine?
Do you think it could be just the overall stigma itself that,
Yeah,
like
it goes.
You were just saying earlier,
It goes back to the Reefer Madness days. Have you heard of the movie? I just watched it again. It's on YouTube. I just watched it again like about a month ago. That stuff is so crazy. But I mean, there are so many people that still feel like, especially like baby boomers and the silent generation, the older generations. They really, there's still a lot of people that are against cannabis use, and they really could benefit greatly from it. But the fears that were put into their mind with reefer madness and that thinking and the McCarthyism and all that in the 50s and 40s, 50s, 60s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. I mean, up until Nixon in the 70s making it, 60s and 70s making it illegal because he was trying to find a way to basically make blackness
that's the war on drugs
and being a hippie illegal. So that's when they started the war on drugs.
So you think that with today's stance on this with marijuana, where do you see this as far as like how long do you think that process is going to take as far as how much more time you think it's going to take for even Arkansans, because even Arkansans had a hard time passing that medical marijuana.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad it finally passed. I just wish that rec would have passed, the recreational law. But I understand why they didn't, because it was written kind of like a lot of patients didn't like how that law was written. And so that's why the recreational laws didn't pass here. But hopefully the next go round, it will.
And you were telling me about a petition for that.
There's a petition. No, it's a petition for an adjustment, like an amendment to the current laws that will allow for pre-roll sales and patients to grow a few of their own plants. And I'm not sure. I gotta look back over the amendment again to see what else is in there too. But those were the two main things that stood out to me. Oh, and the expansion of the conditions that qualify you for the card as well.
What are the conditions that qualify you for this card?
There's a list. I don't have it memorized.
So
I'm not going to be. Look, don't get me to lie.
So it's a long list. Okay.
It's not that long, but I don't have it memorized either.
I get it.
But it will. The amendment will expand it to more.
Okay, cool. So dinner and conversations is happening.
Yes.
May 10th.
Yes, May 10th.
It's happening at 6:30 p.m. It's gonna be at Peppa.
In North Little Rock. Peppa.
North Little Rock, 5301
Warden Rd.
Suite H1, North Little Rock, Arkansas. It's gonna be a great event. If you've never been to dinner and conversations, this is gonna be one. If you really want to come, clear the smoke, and let's set the record straight at. We're gonna have a great 3-course meal prepared for everybody. Got my bartender there making a special cocktail for the event. We're gonna have great food, great drinks, great conversation. We're gonna be speaking with Miss Ebony Blevins. We got some other special guests as well. Hopefully I can have a conversation with them before we dive off into the deeper
if I would have known that, I could have. Well, one of them lives up in Jonesboro. Justice. He lives in Jonesboro. He's the inventory manager for NEA Full Spectrum, which is a dispensary up in Jonesboro. And then we have Andrea Harris, who is the CEO of Hippie Hounds CBD, like dog and cat treats and oil and tinctures, and Justin Edrington, who is over the Keep, which is he has a podcast called Keep It or Toss It.
Okay.
Who else? Patrick Pearson. He is one of the advocates for Ask Ethel, which is an initiative to educate the masses in Arkansas. He also works for a grower, but he's not representing the grower for that night. Who else? That's 3. That's 4. Danielle Boynton, I think is her last name. I may have mispronounced it. But she has a CBD like jam and jelly company called Jade and Kimball, and her stuff is so amazing. And that's a black-owned business.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, look at this black woman.
Yes, and she's doing her thing in the cannabis industry. We need more people of color in the cannabis industry in Arkansas.
I think that's vital. I think that's important.
Yeah, because I spoke at the expo in January. I was on a panel for women in the cannabis industry. I was the only black person in the room when I was on that panel on Industry Day. And I want there to be more diversity on this next expo that's going to be in August.
How many people were in this room?
Probably about 50, but still.
50 people. You were the one black face in the whole entire room. And you were dealing with a very important topic.
Yes.
I got
and so now I'm determined to get more people of color into the cannabis industry.
Well, we can definitely appreciate you and your efforts, and I stand behind your whole way.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Any way I can make it, to where you can get the word out, get information out to people, things of that nature. I'm here.
Thank you.
That's what this dinner and conversation. We're gonna clear the smoke at dinner and conversations. It's gonna be amazing. So, how can people get a hold of you, reach out to you, get in contact with you? How can they do this?
Right, they can. Okay, so my personal Instagram is @MsCameralady. That's MsCameralady. The Tical Arkansas Instagram is @Tical Arkansas _. That's TICAL. I don't know, my mind just went blank. TICAL Arkansas ARKANSAS _. There's also Tical Official, and on Facebook there's also a Tical Official Facebook page as well.
Okay. All right, you got to get locked in. You got to get plugged in with it. She's gonna take care of it. So what are events you got going on after this? Like,
I don't really have any specific events, just dinner and conversations right now. I normally do pop-ups on 420, but the state regulators are clamping down on that kind of marketing, and so I'm having to be creative on how I'm going to market on 420. So just stay tuned on this content that you'll see probably after I do it. So.
There it is. Well, I want to thank you very much for having this interview with me. Man, this is a blessing right here. This is amazing. I'm so glad to be a part of what you have going on and be that avenue for you to be able to get your information out. It's super dope.
And thank you for being open to helping to dispel the stigma of cannabis as well.
Oh man, my pleasure. My pleasure. Well, thank you, Miss Blevins. Thank you all. Please make sure you get your tickets for Dinner and Conversations, Clearing the Smoke.